Hey guys, I'm back today and I wanted to take a few moments and talk to you guys a little bit more about our early retirement planning. So just to give you guys an overview in case you're just kind of joining in and don't know who I am or what we're talking about. So I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have 3 kids and I'm 35 years old. I will be turning 36 later this year in November, and my husband is he's 44 years old and he will be turning 45 this year in August. So our plan is for him to be able to retire when he turns 50 in August of 2021. So that's kind of our planning. Now, before I dive in a little bit on kind of our numbers and what we're looking to achieve, I do want to start by saying that I kind of understand, like, because of the culture that we live in here in the US, when I tell you guys on some of the things that we're planning on cutting back, even when I did my financial, like, money merging video, I got some comments saying things like, well, why can't you just sometimes buy drinks at restaurants, or why can't you just add back the cable and things like that. And the truth is that a lot of things that we as a society and as a consumer-based culture spend money on, we don't really need. They're just unnecessary wants. And once we remove those things from our lives, we realized that it was very easy to live without them. And in fact, we weren't actually even enjoying them when we were using them or spending money on them. And so part of this whole transformation with the Marie Kondo book and just kind of reevaluating, if you guys kind of want to know where we're coming from, we're followers of the Mr. Money Mustache blog, which is run by a guy named Pete and his family, who retired at 30. They were 30 years old when they retired. And we're also fans of Colin Wright, which is a 20-something-year-old guy that, you know, gave up a high-profile job, sold off all his belongings, and now owns everything in a carry-on and spends his life living and traveling to a different country every 4 months. So, you know, there's more to life than being able to have cable TV and buying everything under the sun. So these cutbacks that we're making are not because we're trying to deprive ourselves or our family of anything. The truth is my husband and I are millionaires. We're not multi-millionaires. So if we chose to, we could be spending money like a lot of people do in the US and buying everything under the sun, but that is not the type of life that we're trying to lead, and that's not what we're trying to teach our kids. So yes, we already live way below our means, but there's always room for improvement. I'm a strong believer of that. I'm a lifelong learner, and so we've sat down and just kind of went through our financial sheets, our assets and all that this year, and realized that with slightly more tweaks, we could achieve that dream and live way comfortably and be able to retire when my husband turned 50. So in looking at those numbers, honestly speaking, we could retire right now. He can quit his job today and we can cut back, make a few tweaks into our budget and be completely okay for the rest of our lives. But my husband, being the saver and just like the smart guy that he is with money, he would like to retire in a way where there is a lot of extra cushion and padding for the what ifs. So a couple things that we're trying to do is, my husband and I both paid for our own college educations, and we honestly believe that people should pay for their college educations because we were surrounded by people that had their college educations paid for by their parents, and we felt like that they didn't take those educations as seriously as we did. And I went to Northwestern University, so it wasn't a cheap university, and I was surrounded by rich kids at my university that were partying and doing all kinds of things when they in fact should be taking their education seriously, but they had these parents that were like paying for everything. So while we're wealthy and we want to be able to give our kids a trust fund and the right education, we also believe that we should let them struggle a little bit first and try to do that on their own. So what we're trying to do is, even though we're going to tell our kids that we want them to finish, you know, figure it out and work through college or whatever they need to do to get that education, we want to have the option of paying for it. So we're preparing for a lot of what ifs that we don't plan on actually encountering. Another thing that we're big on as a family is that we don't believe in spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on birthday celebrations, on graduations, on weddings. We believe that life should be celebrated, but it should be celebrated in a way that really brings you joy and not just spending to have these big fancy parties, inviting the whole world, and kind of missing on the importance of that occasion or that celebration. So while we believe that, we also understand that we have a daughter, and we're typical, like, Pakistani Indians, and if she grows up and decides that she wants to have $100,000 wedding, and that's what she really wants, despite having raised her in a certain way, then we want the option of being able to finance that wedding for her. So as you can see, we're adding a lot of cushioning in there, which we're planning on raising our kids in a certain way that we shouldn't have to, but they're babies right now. So you can't always kind of predict where it's going to go. So he wants to be able to do all that stuff. We want to be able to give them a paid off house by a certain age. We want to be able to give them a trust fund. So we're going to cushion all that money in, and that's where that extra 5 years is coming from. So our goal date is August of 2021, and that's kind of that's my husband's 50th birthday, and that's when we're planning on him retiring. So what will we do after retirement? So retirement to us means having the financial freedom to not having to work another day for the rest of your life, and still be able to live comfortably, travel the world, give our time and our money, have a comfortable lifestyle for our kids, and also leave them with something. So that's kind of our goal. One thing also is after we retire, we want to be able to, we're world travelers, we love to travel, we love to take our kids and to experience new things. So right now when we go on vacation, we have to go somewhere and spend maybe a week there, 2 weeks there, and then come back, even during summer break, because my husband has to go back to work. So what we want to be able to do after he retires is we want to be able to go and spend a summer, like an entire summer, in a new country every year. So those are the kind of things that our financial freedom will buy us. The other thing is my husband has some hobbies and interests that he would like to pursue, and if those hobbies bring us money, awesome. But if they don't, we want to be able to still do them and not worry about money. So for me, I love YouTube, I love writing, that's my passion, and I have the freedom of doing that, being a stay-at-home mom and just managing my time fairly well. But my husband can't always fit all that stuff in, so he would like the option of being able to do what interests him. And as you guys know, my YouTube channel produces, and affiliate programs and things like that, produces a little bit of income for me. So he would like to do something like that too, where it's kind of fun, passive income, but we're not dependent on it. So that's kind of where we're headed, and the purpose of this retirement. The reason I announced it on YouTube after thinking it over some, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. I don't even think it's anything to brag about. We live a fairly, I would say, unglamorous lifestyle for what most other millionaires live, but that's kind of the choices that we've made in our life. And I don't think anybody can look at my life, if you guys have been following my YouTube channel, and say, oh, I feel sorry for her. I mean, we still enjoy life. We travel, we eat out, we spend time with family and friends, we do all the things that bring us joy, but we're mindful of where we don't spend our money on the things that don't bring us joy. So